There are moments in the world of entertainment that feel as though the entire digital sphere stops spinning, moments where millions of screens light up simultaneously in anticipation of a single voice. For years, an unspoken tension hung quietly over two of the biggest names in the global industry, a silent narrative built on whispered rumors, intense speculation, and an unspoken distance that seemed to grow wider with every passing project. When the notification flashed across phones across the globe, signaling an unscripted, direct transmission from Wang Yibo himself, the atmosphere shifted instantly from quiet curiosity to breathtaking suspense. People who had followed every step of his journey knew how rare it was for him to address personal matters so directly, given his reputation for stoic professionalism and a guarded private life. Yet there he sat, stripped of the polished media filters and PR safety nets, looking directly into the camera with an expression that carried the heavy weight of years of unexpressed thoughts, ready to confront the one topic that had defined a generation of pop culture obsession. To truly understand the seismic impact of this confession, one has to travel back to the summer that changed everything, a time when two young actors stepped onto a drama set unaware that their lives were about to be permanently altered. The dynamic between Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan was not merely a product of clever editing or promotional strategy. It was an authentic, magnetic electricity that radiated through every frame of the shared screen time. They were two rising talents navigating an unprecedented wave of meteoric fame together, leaning on one another during exhausting 18-hour filming days, sharing quiet laughs between takes, and building a foundation of mutual trust that few outsiders could ever truly comprehend. That summer created a cultural phenomenon that transcended borders, binding the names together in the public consciousness in a way that felt almost permanent, setting off a wave of passionate devotion from fans who saw in their bond something rare, beautiful, and deeply sincere. However, the bright lights of unprecedented stardom often cast the darkest shadows, and as their joint popularity skyrocketed into uncharted territory, the atmosphere around them turned increasingly intense and complex. The hyper-fixation from media outlets and the overwhelming invasion of privacy forced a subtle, painful shift in how they interacted in public spaces. Slowly, the warm, playful exchanges that had once defined the public appearances began to fade, replaced by a careful, disciplined distance engineered to protect both their careers and the personal peace. Fans watched with heavy hearts as two people who had once seemed inseparable began navigating separate red carpets, avoiding direct eye contact at industry events, and carefully sidestepping questions about each other in interviews. It was a silence born not out of coldness or conflict, but out of absolute necessity, a silent agreement to weather the storm of public scrutiny by retreating into separate spheres. For years, that quiet distance became the status quo, yet the emotional connection between their stories never truly dissolved in the eyes of those who looked closely. Subtractions of public interactions only heightened the mystery, with followers hunting for subtle clues, quiet nods, or shared artistic choices that suggested the bond formed in those early days remained intact beneath the surface. Every award show appearance, every brand endorsement, and every subtle smile during a press conference was analyzed for a sign that the brotherhood forged under intense pressure had not been erased by time or distance. The public longed for a moment of genuine clarity, a sign that the warmth they had witnessed years ago was real and endured beyond the constructed narratives of celebrity culture, creating a quiet, persistent hope that one day the silence would finally be broken. That quiet hope was finally answered in an unscripted, raw moment of transparency that stunned viewers around the globe, as Wang Yibo set aside his typical reserved demeanor to speak directly from the heart. Looking straight into the lens with a quiet intensity, he acknowledged the endless rumors, the persistent speculation, and the heavy emotional burden that both he and Xiao Zhan had carried throughout their respective journeys. He spoke of the deep, unwavering respect he holds for a colleague and friend who walked through the fire with him during the most transformative chapter of his youth. There was no theatrical drama or rehearsed bravado in his voice, only a profound, grounded honesty as he explained that true bonds do not need constant public validation to remain real, and that the distance seen by the world was never a fracture in their respect, but a shield meant to protect a genuine human connection from being consumed by public noise. Listening to him articulate the truth felt like a collective release of tension that had been building for nearly half a decade, offering an emotional catharsis to millions who had followed the journey with genuine care. He described how the chaotic nature of fame often forces artists to construct walls, but emphasized that behind those walls lie real memories, shared struggles, and a lasting gratitude for the people who understood the weight of that journey best. By addressing the elephant in the room with such dignified vulnerability, he reclaimed the narrative from sensationalist gossip channels and handed back an authentic truth that honored both the shared history and their individual growth as mature artists taking on complex new roles in the world. As the live stream drew to a close, the digital world was left in a state of quiet awe, processing the weight of a moment that felt less like a celebrity statement and more like a masterclass in emotional integrity and maturity. The true nature of their relationship was revealed not as a dramatic scandal or a tailored publicity stunt, but as an enduring story of two talented individuals bound by a shared past, mutual admiration, and an unspoken pact to preserve the authenticity of their memories. By breaking his silence with such graceful power, Wang Yibo gave the world something far more valuable than sensational gossip. He offered a powerful reminder that beneath the blinding glitz of fame, real human connections are worth protecting, surviving the test of time, distance, and the ceaseless chatter of the world outside.